Hello once again on Cowboys Insiders. Today, the Dallas Cowboys 2026 offseason is undergoing. Let's deal with a pressure, a power moves and franchise at crossroad in the Dallas Cowboys in this year. The Dallas Cowboys head into 2026 offseason and NFL draft facing one of the most critical periods in recent franchise history. After yet another season that fell short Super Bowl expectations, the organization is once again under intense scrutiny from fans, analysts, and from the media. With the owner Jerry Jones still determined to bring another championship to the Dallas, and the message is clear. This is no longer about a potential, it's about a result. So a Dak Prescott era in the Dallas Cowboys is the stability or final chapter on the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. A quarterback, Dak Prescott remains the centerpiece of the Cowboys, but the questions about his long-term future have only intensified. Prescott has consistently delivered a regular season performance, yet postseason struggles continue to define the narrative around him. As contract discussions evolve, Dallas faces familiar dilemma: committee full to Prescott as their franchise QB or explore aboard alternatives in a rapid changing NFL landscape. Insiders suggest that while Jerry Jones still believes in Prescott, patience is wearing thin among fans who demand a deeper playoff run. So if you didn't make subscribe, please make subscribe for Cowboy Insiders in order to bring and to develop our Cowboy Insiders platform. The next one is a CD Lamb. CD Lamb is offensive superstar calling the Lord. A wide receiver, CD Lamb has firmly established himself as one of the NFL elite offensive weapons. So entering in 2026, Lamb is not just a top receiver, he is arguably the face of the Cowboys offense. After a multiple explosive season, CD Lamb's role continue to expand, primarily deep threat, reliable possession receiver, and leader in the locker room. The Cowboys have already made significant financial commitment to CD Lamb, signaling that he will remain a cornerstone of the franchise for years to come. So that's why the Dallas Cowboys still focusing on a CD Lamb contract. The Micah Parsons is a defensive dominance and leadership. Defensively, everything resolved around Micah Parsons. Parsons continues to dominate opposing offensive with his versatility, speed, and relentless pressure. Whether lining up as edge rusher, linebacker, he has to become one of the most feared defenders in NFL. So as of 2026, discussions about Micah Parsons are no longer about potential. They are about a legacy. Many analysts already consider him a perennial defensive player of the year candidate in the NFL, and also the emotional leaders of the Cowboys defense and future Hall of Fame trajectory players if he maintains this level. The Cowboys are expected to ensure a person to remain in a Dallas for long term, no matter the cost will require for a good player like Micah Parsons. So the head coach Mike Scott continues to face a heavy pressure entering this season. Despite maintaining a competitive records, the inability to translate a regular season success into a playoff victories has raised a serious concerns about the team leadership. So there are glowing a whispers that could be make or break season for MC Croft, and a nearly playoff exit may trigger major coaching changes, and the Cowboys could explore a younger and more aggressive coaching options in the future of NFL and Dallas Cowboys. So the expectation is that Dallas will be simple, complete for the Super Bowl or face consequences. The Cowboys have approached 2026 off season with a mix of cautions and urgency. While the care of the team remain intact, several areas still need improvement. So for the offensive line, once a dominant unity, the offensive line now faces a questions about consistency and durability. So strengthening protection for the Dak Prescott is a top priority. The ground attack has lacked explosiveness in recent seasons. Dallas is actively evaluating options to add a dynamic running back who can complement the passing game. While the star like Micah Parsons lead the defense, a depth across a roster remain a concern, especially against an elite NFC offense. 2026 NFL Draft defining a moment. The upcoming 2026 NFL Draft, it represents a critical opportunity for the Cowboys to reshape their roster. So the Dallas is expected to focus on offensive line upgrades, defensive secondary reinforcement, and playmakers who can contribute immediately. Scouts believe this draft class offer a strong depth, so giving the Cowboys a chance to address multiple needs if they draft effectively. NFC competition growing stronger, so the load of the Super Bowl is not getting any easier. Within the NFL, the NFC continue to improve with several teams emerging as a serious contender. This means the Cowboys must elevate their performances to remain competitive among the league's elite. Fan pressure and American team identity. The Dallas Cowboys carry one of the most passionate and demanding fan bases in a sport. Known globally as American team, or which is the Dallas Cowboy, expectations are always high. However, a decades without a Super Bowl appearance have led to increased frustration. Every decision, whether it's contract, coaching, or draft picks, is analyzed in details. For the Cowboys, success is not optional, it is expected. So 2006 could define the future of the franchise in the Dallas Cowboys. As of the April 11th, 2026, the Dallas Cowboys are left at the pivotal moment with an elite talent like Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons. So the foundation is strong, but the talent alone is no longer enough. The 2026 season will answer a critical questions. So a Dallas finally break through in the playoffs. Is the current leadership capable of delivering a championship, or will major changes reshape the franchise once again? One this is certain, the spotlight the Dallas is brighter than ever, and the touchdowns of 9, so establishing him as the one of the premier playmaker in the NFL. To ensure they can keep him around in 2006, The Cowboys used the franchise tag on Pickens, which will pay him approximately $27 million. The two sides can still work on a long-term deal, but there is no indication that the Dallas Cowboys will even entertain an extension at this point. That's why a Bleacher Report, Christopher Knox, says a draft day trade is possible for the Dallas Cowboys to extend the long contract with George Pickens. So what would shake up the entire NFL draft? According to ESPN's Todd Archer, the Cowboys have not had discussions with Pickens about a long-term deal. If an extension doesn't seem either likely or sensible, trading Pickens and getting a receiver on a rookie contract could be an option, an oxalot. It might not be an option for a Dallas Cowboy where are likely to exercise. However, if prospects like Arizona State, Jordan Grayson, and Ohio State are Cornell Tate or Mokai Lemon is sitting there, whether a Dallas is on the clock, it's one that could become more appealing, and having a Pickens land with another team while a top receiver comes off the board to the Dallas could certainly send a shockwave through the NFL. Assuming the Cowboys were open to trading a George Pickens, an ideal return would be the first round pick. That's not incredibly likely given his history and the salary he is setting to command. However, that means more realistic return would be a second round selection. So a Dallas currently doesn't have selection in a second round, and adding one might allow them to truly rebuild the defensive side of the ball. So there is many reasons why the Cowboys could be comfortable trading a wide receiver, George Pickens. For the Cowboys, trading Pickens wouldn't be completely about the return. While they would be getting more bucks than what they traded for a Pickens in 2025, the real reason they would be open to the move is to avoid paying another receiver high dollar contract after extending a CeeDee Lamb contract in 2024. This only makes sense. However, if there is a viable wide receiver, perhaps they do not dart in Elian Flowner, who had a strong second season in the NFL. If the Cowboys believe a Flowner could take another steps this year, they might be more comfortably trading a Pickens and adding more firepower to their defense. The Dallas Cowboys are armed with two first round picks in 2026 NFL draft. With just 3 weeks until the festivity kicks off on the North Shore in the Pittsburgh, the Dallas has plenty of option when a draft rolls around as it continues looking to improve the roster. A common opinion is that the Dallas Cowboys should use both first-round picks on the star and defensive prospect to improve their put lead unity, which ranked number 13 overall in the league last season. But what if the team decided to use some extra picks to move around in the NFL draft order? That's exactly what a Bruce Feldman of the Athletics suggests for the Cowboys should do. In this latest mock draft, a Feldman has the Cowboys making a major trade with Arizona Cardinals to land the player number 3 overall picks in the draft. So you would think the Cowboys would have to give up both first round picks to enter the top 3, right? Not if you are a Feldman. His trade proposal has the Cowboys pulling off the draft day haste that would send the number 12 overall picks and the team third rounder to the Cardinal pick number 3 to land the Texas Tech superstar David Baylor. And also the Dallas Cowboy targets for wide receivers in 2026 NFL draft and mocks. A wide receiver might not be placing needs for the Dallas Cowboys, but they could still consider adding one of these for prospect in the 2026 NFL draft. The NFL draft takes place in 3 weeks, and the Dallas Cowboys currently have 2 picks in the round 1 and 8 selection overall. They are expected to focus on defense early, which makes sense considering this side of the ball was disaster for them in 2025. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer wouldn't rule out an offensive player in round 1, but that feels unlikely unless a premier talent fall to them. Still, the Cowboys are doing their homework on every pair, and that includes a wide receiver even with a CeeDee Lamb and hopefully George Pickens on the roster. Dallas could add more depth. That said, he is look at 4 wide receivers and who would make a sense. Those 4 wide receiver, we're going to see about those 4 wide receiver and who can make a sense when signed with a Dallas Cowboy. Number 1 is Skylar Bailey. At 6 foot and 192 pounds, Skylar Bailey isn't the biggest wide receiver, but also he is dominated during his final season with the Huskies. Bailey had 101 receptions for 1,278 yards and 13 touchdowns. He has the versatility to play inside, the outside, and displayed a solid athleticism at the NFL combined when he can run 40 yards dash on the second and recorded 41 inches on a vertical jump. The other player who has a chance more than other is a Bryce Lance from a North Dakota state. Trey Lance didn't pan out on backup quarterbacks in the Dallas, but perhaps they could have a better luck with his young brothers. Bryce Lance emerged as a star for a North Dakota state, tapping 1,000 yards receiving in each of his final 2 seasons with a Bisons. He doesn't offer much versatility, seems as primarily an ex-receiver, but he wins a contested passes and has more than enough juice to beat a defenders downfield. Player number 3 is Elijah Vigil on Texas Tech. The Cowboys have been linked to 3 defenders on Texas Tech, with a David Baylor, a Romelo Height, and Jacob Rodriguez, all named as a